Hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to the great Chronicles. So, we managed to convince everyone that Dr. Hairbrain wasn't a murderer, but there's still some weird things that we have to uncover. So we're gonna have to take care of that. Wait, I need to... wait. I hope... oh, okay. I don't know. There's... Alright, it should be fine. Let's continue then. We were... last time we left on a terrible choice we have to make. Either get the not guilty verdict right now, or try and get some more testimony. And yesterday I really didn't know what to do, but I remembered what Hellox said. And he kind of said that we had to push through to the end. So I guess we're gonna have to continue all this and get to the bottom of all of it. Right?
Objection!
The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord. I beg your pardon. We demand one final testimony. What? You do realize I'm about to adjudicate in favor of your client, I presume? What are you playing at now, my Nipponese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point? No defense lawyer in his right mind would do that. Maybe I'm not in my right mind, I don't know. Oh, an Okoto-san. What exactly is he thinking? The truth. The whole truth. And a way to bring it all out into the open. Oh, right. Yes, in hindsight. Oh yeah, exactly. Oh yes. One word of warning before I go. If, in the course of the trial this afternoon, you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. Huh? To the bitter end, you understand? Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes knew. He must have deduced that this would happen. Yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client. And to secure an acquittal. Obviously. But that's not all. I believe that I have a duty to the court. To pursue the whole truth to the case. Until every last detail is laid bare. And that is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Scythe. Testimony from me? About what? About the nature of your collaboration with Mr. Enoch Drebber. Huh. In case it's escaped your attention, I've already admitted to everything I did. The whole truth has already been revealed. So stop wasting everyone's time. As his lordship made very plain, your client will get the acquittal you wanted for him. There's simply no point protracting this business further with another tedious cross-examination.
Objection!
Oh. Pray, forgive my careless handling of that hallowed bottle. I slipped. Huh? That's what you call it? What is your objection, Lord Von Zeeks? The prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony from the witness. Oh, wow. What a turn of events. Oh, don't be stupid. If there is more to this case than has yet to come to light, then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts until the bitter end. Oh, you're what? Oh, Lord Van Zeeks. This is most irregular, to say the least. However, as the prosecution also calls for it, I will uphold the request. After all, it's not the first, irregular thing here. Dr. Scythe, you will testify before the court, explaining the full extent of your involvement in the murder apparently committed by Mr. Draper. Very well. The waxwork plot. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. Wow, had trouble reading tonight. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it. Oh, so I was right. The stage and the machine were all especially designed for the deception. So it seems. And all meticulously prepared. You did well to see through it. You're a very shrewd boy. So kind of you to say. Wait, I'm not sure what shrewd means. I'm just gonna check. Shrewd? Marked by clever discerning awareness and hard-headed. I'm not sure if it's positive or not. Oh, and what about this autopsy report then? All I did was record the location of the body as being in the Crystal Tower instead of under the stage. Oh, that's all? That's a terrible corruption. Only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only under my explicit instructions. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you. We must be thankful for small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for cross-examination, I would say. No, I disagree. Can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Just look at that expression and Dr. Scythe's face. It's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony. What is it about you, Japanese, that makes you all so doggedly persistent? All? Oh! No! Oh, the professor. It's Van Ziek's former friend. He's not his brother. He's okay.
Very well. If you so desire, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Waxwork plot. It all began as a scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket.
Hold it!
From what you described before, it sounds like the note was anonymous. Did you have any idea who was behind it? Oh, there are very few people in the know about what really happened 10 years ago to start with. But anyway, I'd never heard of this engineer, so no, I had no idea. Yet, despite not knowing who was behind the plan, you went along with it. I had no choice. Protecting the professor's secret was my only concern.
But the horse has bolted now, and the stable door will never shut again. Scotland Yard's reputation will be immeasurably damaged as a result of all this.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Lord Van Zieks. I'm well aware of that.
So, as I understand it, what you found in the birdcage was a waxwork model. Where then was the victim's body?
The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage.
Hold it!
So you knew about the special construction of the stage? Used to carry out the trick then? Oh, it was quite obvious what had happened with the victim and the waxwork. And you switched the two over, didn't you? In other words, you recorded the victim's body as having been discovered in the crystal tower. And the waxwork? I wrapped it and sent it by carriage to the specified address at the specified time. And why were you given such directions? Oh wait.
Presumably so it could be recovered by Trevor and returned to Madame Taspel's.
Why did you have to return the waxwork though? There's any reason for that. Oh, I see. And then you put the birdcage back on the experimentation stage. Oh yes. Although someone obviously made a mistake about which case should go where. I thought I'd made it perfectly clear to the team, but still. What a bunch of incompetence. Oh, I suppose you were focused on the victim's body, that being a more important detail. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job.
Hold it!
When you say arranged, I presume you mean with this. Yes, the instructions in the engineer's notes said something along the lines of fabricate some evidence to make it clear that harebrain alone could have killed Asman.
So you mean that was your doing?
I fetched Harebrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage, but the man was already dead when I killed him. And took it with me, alone, to the abyss, under the stage where the birdcage had fallen.
Alone, Doctor?
I didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in that particular part of the deception. There was a void under the stage, where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. I approached it, leaned down, and slowly opened it up. Then I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report. The fictitious cause of death. Exactly. So the actual cause of death was the trauma resulting from the 30-foot drop.
My word.
What is it, Sato-san? Oh, something about Dr. Scythe's last statement is playing on my mind, that's all. Oh yes, mine too. Dr. Scythe. Oh, there's really no need to shout. I can hear perfectly well. The defense called for you to add what you just said to your formal testimony. Which part? What I want her to supplement her testimony with is wait. The real cause of death? Or what she did to the victim? Autopsy report. What do we want? The sharp object. What do we have that's going to be pertinent to all this? We have the birdcage. We have the autopsy report. We have the photograph. I'm going to save. Wait, what did she say? And then you noted that in your wait. I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. Okay, I think it's what she did to the victim. How you stabbed Mr. Assman in the chest. That part. Fine, if that's what you want. But there's really no need to point. Sorry, that's just what I do. The prosecution concurs. And also points.
Very well. You will supplement your testimony now, witness.
Oh, if you wish, my lord. I stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the toppled cage and plunged a screwdriver into the chest.
Hold it!
So it was you who stabbed Asman with this? Yes, far easier than dissection, I assure you. No precision required. Oh, what a welcome change. The victim died instantly from a snapped neck. Snapped neck. All I did was carry out the instructions I'd been given.
As unflinchingly as ever, no doubt.
I imagine you didn't bat an eyelid when you drove the weapon into his body. Oh, there was no need to bat my eyelids. And what else did you do to twist the facts? Remind the court, why don't you? If you wish. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately.
Hold it!
The entire team? In perverting the course of justice? My team consists of the very best investigators there are. I demand loyalty from all members. We operate on a code of chivalry of sorts. More like military. You aid and abet a murderer, commit perjury, and dare to talk of chivalry? Oh, it was a matter of priorities. What? Nothing was more important than protecting the secret of the professor. My team did what was necessary without losing sight of the primary goal. I consider their conduct exemplary.
Oh, don't concede the point. Naruto-san, you mustn't let her win. Oh, I need a lawyer.
Oh, I'll take that silence as tacit acceptance. Now, can we move on? The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it. I had to protect it.
Hold it!
But at what cost? Faith in Scotland Yard is going to suffer a terrible blow as a result of this.
And your precious secret is out now anyway.
Oh yes, as you say. And I take full responsibility. Wait, and I take full responsibility.
Look down. Dr. Sorry.
Oh, surely there was some other way you could have protected the secret. No, there really wasn't. I've done my utmost. Believe me. In many ways, I respect your determination. Wow, I nearly froze under that cold stare as she said that. Oh, I do believe she was being genuine though. Naruto-san. So, that's her story. Oh, she admitted everything and revealed her full involvement in the crime. I do wonder if there could really be much more to it. Well, I don't know. But I just have a feeling. Do you, Naruto-san? The truth is, I find it strange too. how those two are reacting to this in completely opposite ways. I mean... Yeah, oh yes, exactly. For some reason, I feel sure they're still trying to hide something. They are. That's sure, that's for sure. It all began as a scene when I saw the waxwork. Okay. Actual body of the victim. Notes instruction would beneath experimentation stage. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant. Okay. I stood over the victim's corpse when I lay in toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into his chest. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to trust the scene repeatedly. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it. Okay. So, that's the statement that we have to contradict. So what can we present? What can we present? Hemorrhage of a wound up to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Cause of death. Additional observations: broken vertebrae, most likely resulting from impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. What do we have to present? I'm not sure. Oh, there's no question considering the unusual shape of the handle. This is a screwdriver that was poking through the floor of the kinesis machine. Looks a little bit like a capital A. For Andrew, I suppose? This... Oh, this is blood. Mr. Aspen's, no doubt. This is a problem. We're looking at murder weapons. Anything to see there? I don't know. Wait a minute. Look at the cage. There's no way she could have stabbed the man that way. It doesn't look like the thing she mentioned. But then, what about this photograph? When was this taken? Was it open? Wait, is there a door you can... There must be a door you can open. You can open that. The picture is very weird. Okay, we can present that.
Objection!
Defense? No, it's not that. What? Oh dear. Oh, that was so long ago. Okay, we have to. Well, no, okay, fine if you want. I concur. Huh. Ah, rude. Okay. Wish my lord. Alright. It's a statement. Okay. I'll resave because I want to do that again. Okay. No. I stood over the victim's corpse when it lay in the top of the cage and plunged the screwdriver into his chest. Okay. What's wrong about that? I don't understand. Is it the other side board? That would be weird. what do we have? That could be of interest. Cage, the autopsy report, and the photograph. That's all we have. I stood over the victim's corpse when it lay in the toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. I mean, I've got to try.
Objection!
No, it's not that. What? What is it then? Is it just a picture? It's kind of weird. I don't see why. Photographic picture of the victim taken after the head was ostensibly being beamed. Shows an apparent stab wound to the chest. What's the problem with that?
Objection!
It's the picture. Why is it a contradiction? Oh, I've got a nasty feeling. Oh dear. That this inconsistency points to an extremely uncomfortable truth.
What on earth is the matter, Counsel? Have you lost your tongue?
I apologize, my lord. Dr. Scythe, in that last statement of yours, there's just one point that seems to defy explanation.
Out with it, my lone friend.
There's an obvious inconsistency between your description and this photograph. Wait, what did she say? I stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the top of the cage. Oh, wait, is this gonna be the blood? Which shows the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death.
Objection!
The court has already examined that photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it.
Objection!
Yes, we have already considered it. That's true. But we now know the facts to be different.
What do you mean?
Oh, I believe we should let the defense explain. Where in this photograph would we see the alleged inconsistency with the witness statement?
Oh dear. Is it the blood? I don't know. Or is it the glass? But because the photograph could have been taken afterwards. I think it's the blood.
Take that!
Look closer at the bloodstain in the victim's chest. It clearly extends in a downward direction, towards the man's feet.
And why is that significant, Counsel?
If the victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected.
Oh, of course. No, that's not what happened.
Exactly, my lord. Dr. Scythe made it clear in her testimony just now that the point at which he stole the Professor Hairbrain's screwdriver and stabbed the victim was after the grand deception that was set in motion, and the birdcage had fallen below the stage out of sight. From the shape of it, it's clear that the birdcage would have fallen on its side after the 30-foot drop. And if the victim had already been stabbed while inside the birdcage in that position, the blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. For it to have formed the longitudinal appearance we see in the picture is inconceivable. Ah. Given that the victim's blood seeped vertically downward from the wound, it must be the case that when you stabbed Mr. Assman, he was standing up. In short, Dr. Scythe, your latest testimony was a total fabrication. Oh, I knew it. I was right. Now I've identified the contradiction. There's only one way to explain the facts. Is there? We've all been under a great misapprehension here.
What? What sort of misapprehension?
Dr. Scythe, you claim you were coerced into helping Mr. Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate the defendant. And you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. But one of those claims is an out-and-out lie. Because the question of what the bloodstain really tells us has only one possible answer.
If that is the case, what is it, man? What is it, man?
Oh dear, he's pissed.
Counsel, you've clearly struck upon a revelation. Now tell the court what it is. Which part of Dr. Scythe's story is shown to be a lie by the contradiction in her testimony?
The stabbing of the victim, of course. But, you know... the stabbing. The answer is very simple if you consider the sequence of events. If, when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeped downwards as it did, we can be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time.
But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen its side when it fell beneath the stage.
Yes, it would, which tells us that the victim must have been in that position of his own accord.
Objection!
That's impossible. The man was dead, remember?
No, that is a misapprehension. When the birdcage fell from the stage to the void below, it must have hit the ground with considerable force. But Mr. Assman didn't die in the fall. He probably lost consciousness for a while, but when he came around, he got to his feet to climb out of the cage. Just as Dr. Scythe appeared. Oh, the other witnesses are gone now. If the victim was in fact alive at that point in time, it changes everything. Uh, wait, she. I don't think it's the right position, you know, to put the screwdriver over your head to stab someone in the chest. I think you would need to put. I don't know. Have it lower. Oh, she's not a professional killer. Mr. Odiasman's killer wasn't the defendant, Professor Albert Hairbrain. Nor was it the mastermind behind the stage trickery, Mr. Enoch Dribber. It was you, Dr. Courtney Scythe.
Order! Can this possibly be true?
Have you been taking me for a fool? It was you, was it? You killed him. You hoped that by admitting to being an accomplice in Mr. Drebber's scheme, the trial would end. Before you were accused of a far worse crime. Cold-blooded murder. Oh, do shut up. You're so desperate now. You're making all this up. As if I would do something like that.
Objection!
What? Oh, I assure you, the defense is not desperate, Doctor. Naruhodo-san has established the facts using evidence and logic alone. Ha! Logic, don't make me laugh. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole in it. What? What do you mean? I'd have thought it was obvious. A motive, boy. You're lacking a motive. What possible reason would I have to kill Mr. Asman? Asman was involved in any number of criminal activities, from coercion to theft to murder. But there is no known connection to Dr. Scythe there.
I'm rather relieved to say it does seem somewhat far-fetched.
True, there's no obvious motive. But there's still something in the back of my mind. I feel sure I've seen something somewhere that hints at why the coroner might have done this. Yes, I might have tampered with the crime scene and concocted a fake report. But murdering someone for no reason is a very different story.
Objection!
No, when you question what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Mr. Asman. Something did come to mind. Did it? What?
What was it, Counsel? Light in the court at once.
Oh yes, we saw it yesterday, didn't we? Did we? Something that seems strange, but we had no reason to suspect it at the time. Oh, is it? I don't know. There's a particular object that explains why just a scythe would have wanted to kill Mr. Asman. Wait, what? The scalpels? The iron mask? It's not screwdriver. I don't think it's the iron mask. Must be the scalpels then. It's a scalpel. Or rather, scalpels.
Did you say scalpels?
Ah. It would appear that word has struck a chord. That word has struck a chord, Doctor. You... Oh, come on. Out with it. It was yesterday, when we visited your laboratory. Look at this big, thick... Oh, look at this big, thick book here. Oh, it appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spendings, I think. Oh. What is it? Oh, it's clear that the team purchases various equipments and supplies on a monthly basis, but... Well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? Oh, they're buying 500 scalpels every month.
500 scalpels? A month?
At first, I wondered what on earth could be using that many scalpels for. But actually, I realize now it's not the scalpels themselves that are significant. It's the money for them, disappearing every month from the department's accounts.
Asman's criminal organization relied heavily on extortion for its funding. Tracing the money from the forensic investigation team's account to find out where it was going. Would be extremely straightforward, would it?
10 years ago, when Mr. Asman was still a journalist, I wrote this article about Mr. Drebber. He may well have stumbled upon information as he was researching the story. Information relating to Dr. Scythe's darkest secret that he would use to rack money from her for the next decade.
Her darkest secret? Oh, good lord, you mean?
Oh, I don't know what happened on the night of that execution 10 years ago. But clearly, the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. So in the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? You did it entirely of your own free will. You stabbed Mr. Asman in the heart with all your might. To silence a blackmailer who knew your dark secret forever. Oh, you'll never understand. None of you. What we've had to keep covered up all these long years. As very little of the machine remains after it was ripped apart by the bomb. The truth of this case can never be properly established unless you speak out. Oh, and if you decide not to, it's very possible that Courtney Scythe will escape punishment for her crimes. Please, sir, own up to what you've done and tell the court the truth about what happened.
Hmm. 10 years ago, you told the truth, and now you were robbed of a bright and successful future as a result. I can certainly understand your bitterness and your consternation now. However, this is surely the chance you've been waiting for to sever the hold that fate's had over you all these years.
Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. I mean, really? Is the adult brain mark scientists that are the worst, you know? They don't recognize the fact that they don't have talent. They can't even get that right. And so they end up chasing impossible dreams, having unbridled faith in their abilities. They go on and on about their wonderful hypothesis, their stupid eyes shining like a little child's. They make me sick. I can't abide their foolishness.
Careful, Mr. Trevor.
I was particularly pleased with the kinesis machine. It made for quite a show, didn't it? So you admit it? You admit that it was nothing more than a sham made for the purpose of killing the victim? Yes, I admit it. I admit it. I did it all in the name of revenge. Revenge for the future that Mr. Asman's article had deprived you of 10 years earlier. But the revenge you saw didn't stop at Asman, did it?
Which is where that very particular waxwork comes in. Oh yes, I see.
Oh, the condemned convict that you saw rising from the grave in Lowgate Cemetery 10 years ago. If your account of those events was all true,
Then obviously Scotland Yard couldn't afford to acknowledge what had happened. Even if it meant discrediting a bright young man and crushing any future career he might have had.
so your plan required that you abduct that particular waxwork model.
In order to exact your revenge on Scotland Yard as well. Or on Dr. Scythe, to be precise.
It was a year ago. By some extraordinary twist of fate, Asman turned up at my workshop. He didn't remember who I was, of course. He just wanted to employ my services as an engineer. And he happened to have a paper with him. An article on the front page caught my eye. About the coroner who'd handled that bogus autopsy, being appointed head of a new forensic team. When I learned that news, my cognitive processes started to devise the plan. Oh, what a horrid tale. He robbed me of my future, so I wanted to use the man's own wiles against him for revenge. Wiles? Wiles? A trick or stratagem intended to ensnare or deceive. Okay. And have that rotten Scotland Yard eating out of my hand at the same time. I wanted them all to suffer the same humiliation I had to suffer. Oh. Or your actions against those who ruined your future were justified as revenge, at least to yourself. Certainly, no one has the right to destroy another's prospects, especially for purely selfish gain. And yet, in carrying out your plan, you did exactly that to someone else, didn't you? Did I? Professor Harebrain's only crime was passion for his hypothesis. But you had no compunction about sacrificing his future to effect your revenge. You knew that he would be forever branded a failure and a fraud. Perhaps life treated you unfairly 10 years ago, and others' misconduct left your life in tatters. But remember this. Your own actions resulted in exactly the same thing for another perfectly innocent young man. I...
Lord Francis, what of Dr. Scythe?
An immediate warrant for her arrest was been granted, and she's been remanded. Remanded? In custody, my lord. I presume she will face trial in the coming days, along with Mr. Drebber.
A most regrettable situation indeed. She's made great contributions to her profession over the years. It really is a hard truth to swallow. However, that is a topic for some future occasion. For now, Professor Harebrain. Oh, yes? Oh, it seems there was a great deal more to your experiment than you realized. However, I think we can assume now that all the sordid details have been brought to light. This has been a very long and profound trial, but I'm pleased to say you are absolved of all guilt. Oh, this whole experiment has taught me a very great, but painful lesson. Oh, I mean me, this dedicated scientist, this devotee of natural philosophy. I've been selfish and self-centered, and above all, a fool.
Professor.
Well, I've spent my life thinking of nothing but my research, misguidedly believing that I could do whatever I set my mind to, despite my lack of talent. And the worst of it is, in the process, I've caused others pain and misery. Others who are far, far greater people than I.
No, Professor. That's not true.
Whoa?
Don't tar yourself with the same brush as Drebber. What happened was his doing, and he's alone. His outcome is his fate, not yours. You're not to blame in any way.
Oh, Lord Van Zieks.
And the derision with which he referred to you earlier, calling you a fool, talentless even. The man has no idea. Believe in yourself and work your fingers to the bone to realize your dreams. That's laudable, not laughable. No one has the right to deride another for such choices.
Oh. Oh, thank you, Barak. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
Oh yes, my lord.
it is this court's expectation that you find the defendant not guilty of the charge of which he stands accused. I presume there are no objections?
None from me, my lord.
Certainly not. Well, this trial has really made me think, but this is the right decision.
Oh, it's all been proven methodically and rigorously. I've no misgivings whatsoever.
Oh, what's that? He's done. Is he? It's all over.
I don't know what's become of the yards these days. I don't recognize the place. Very well. In that case, I hereby pronounce the defendant not guilty.
Ah, the fireworks. That's not very safe. Fireworks inside.
Court is adjourned.
Ooh, it's over. That was some trial. "24th of October, 4:33 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber." Professor, what a splendid outcome, isn't it? Oh, it is. It is. Congratulations. Congratulations, Professor Harebrain.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, Mr. Sato. I am truly beside myself with gratitude. How could I ever thank you enough?
I'm just glad it's all been cleared up. That you realized you were just caught up in a bad situation.
Oh, right now, you know, if I had that research grant money. Oh, I'd give the whole lot to you. Every penny.
Oh well, that's very kind, but I'm just a student, so... Oh, we don't need any financial reward. Your quota is more than enough.
Oh dear, oh, what can I do? Oh. Oh, how about this? As a memento, the paper about my hypothesis is inside.
Oh man, it's a very small paper. Well, just as a memento there. Thank you. Oh, I've been wondering, Professor, what are you going to do now?
Oh my, oh yes. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, my hypothesis and my great machine lie in ruins. Oh, but still, it's been too long since I was in London, so perhaps I'll enjoy some sightseeing. I must explore the great exhibition whilst I'm here, too, and see if new inspiration hits me. And I hope not too hard.
Oh yes, that's a wonderful idea.
I can't allow that. I knew it was him.
Lord Van Zieks, what are you doing in here?
Oh, Barak?
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Albert.
Oh, well, if I'm honest, it was terrifying. Oh, you were like a great demon behind your bench there, snarling down on your prey.
You're one of the few true friends I have. I couldn't leave it to anybody else to handle the prosecution or the defense.
Oh, really? Sorry? Oh, the defense? Did I just hear that right?
Oh, I always knew that you had my best interests at heart. Don't worry. Oh, how about you show me around while I'm here, in town? It's been a long time since we left university. We have a lot to catch up on.
Listen, Albert. In a few days, your acquittal will be made official. When that happens, you must head straight to Dover. I'll accompany you.
What?
Because of the Reaper.
From there, you'll cross the channel and make your way back to Germany. I've already purchased tickets.
Oh, but no! Hold on a minute, Barak. What about the great exhibition? This is a chance of a lifetime for me. I want to look around.
No. No such thing, Albert. Give up on the idea.
Oh, sometimes it's hard to see any warmth in those eyes, Barak.
Lord Van Zieks? What's all this about?
A necessary precaution.
Oh yes, I think I understand. You do? Oh well, Iris told me that when you meet Lord Van Zieks at his office some days ago, he asked how Mr. Natsumi was doing. Oh yes, that's right. I remember being surprised at the time, and thinking it was nice of him to ask. Oh, the point is, Mr. Natsumi is still alive and well. Even though it's been more than 6 months now since he stood trial with the Reaper as a prosecutor. Ah, you mean the Reaper's influence doesn't stretch overseas?
Those in the Reaper's sights meet their ends days or sometimes months after their acquittal. That's been the pattern up to now.
Oh, but of course, we know that both Mr. Natsume and Gina were completely innocent.
True. And perhaps that governs the Reaper's actions. The truly innocent are spared. But I don't want to take any chances with a close personal friend.
Oh, Barak.
Like the mustached Nipponese, this man should leave the country without delay. That's why I'm packing him off to Germany at once.
Right, does your friend-shaped package get any say in it? Oh, goodness, was this your intention all along then, Lord Van Zieks? court where people think of him as a reaper, this man seems absolutely merciless. And yet, sometimes I feel as though I don't understand him at all.
It's time to go, Albert. Back to the prison for the time being.
Oh yes, all right. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, thank you so much for everything.
Ah, not at all, Professor. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Oh, best wishes, Professor Hairbrain.
Oh well, once the dust has settled, you must come and visit me in Germany. Anyway, goodbye for now.
Now, my Nipponese friend.
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you'd gone too.
We have matters to discuss. Can you spare me some time?
What? You want to talk with me?
I'll be waiting in the courtroom in 10 minutes.
What? Well, that was strange. For some reason, I didn't get that sense of impending doom as he walked away this time. The enigma, Barak van Zieks. What does he want to discuss, I wonder? The answer awaits in the courtroom, I suppose. Here goes, then. '24th of October, 4:58 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom.
So, are you satisfied? You saved a guileless scientist from a great injustice.
Yes, I think so. I'm relieved, at least, that the man's innocence could be proven.
Anyway, I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese comes from.
Yes? Well, at first I thought you just didn't like me. I imagined you saw me as a pretentious child from an unimportant land who had no business being here. But now I think differently. You clearly know our ways. So I would guess that some specific incident led you to your thorough dislike of my race. Well, it's not a race. Okay. Will you tell me what happened, please?
The Professor. I thought I'd never hear that name in this courtroom again, to be honest.
Oh, he took your brother's life.
Clint. My brother was Clint van Zieks. 16 years ago, when I was still just in my teens. He was already the director of prosecutions and a key member of the judiciary. I looked up to him. He was everything I aspired to be.
Oh,
He was involved in the establishment of justice systems in foreign countries as well. There were exchange programs between Britain and other nations then too, to share knowledge and ideas. As part of one of those programs, 3 judicial students came to Britain from your homeland, the Empire of Japan.
Oh. Professor Mikutoba. Oh, if it was 16 years ago, then one of them could have been my father.
Of course. I remember Dr. Mikutoba well.
I had no idea.
I was a minor at the time, training at the prosecutor's office. One day, Clint introduced me to the 3 visiting Nipponese.
Oh, so you've actually met my father.
He and his colleagues were polite and amicable. They were adept at their work and exacting in their standards. It was my first encounter with the Nipponese spirit, and it made a very great impression upon me. But 6 years later, that's when it happened. The investigation was going nowhere. There were no suspects even, just an ever-growing list of victims. And in the end, my brother became one of them. The last, in fact, before the case was finally resolved.
I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zeeks. Truly.
Clint was always ready to put his life on the line for justice anyway. So he wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He lost his life to the killer, but it was his victory in the end. For me personally, though, it was a great loss. I found myself in a very dark place indeed.
Did he ever got out of that place?
When I finally found out the killer's identity. The reason why no one had been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be such a mystery.
Oh,
no one has been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be such a mystery. He'd been hiding in plain sight all the time.
In plain sight?
Are you aware of particular events 10 years ago? Particular events? It was a period of extremely sensitive diplomacy between the British and Japanese empires.
A new treaty was being forged, I think.
Correct. The Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation was being concluded. The leaders of both countries were deep in extensive political discussions. Which is why this particular killer's appearance in court was conducted as closed trial. If the British public had known the identity of the killer, not only would the treaty have been in jeopardy, but our 2 nations would very well have ended up at war.
What? A war between Britain and Japan? Oh, but that would mean... Oh my, you mean to say the professor was...
When the trial reached its conclusion earlier, I thought to myself, yes, it's time. Time for you to come face to face with this hideous monster.
This hideous monster.
I borrowed the key for the mask from the proprietress of the Waxwork Museum. So see for yourselves now. Confirm it with your own eyes. The truth that's been hidden this past decade.
This past decade.
Why are the voices so weird? Who is it?
That's the professor?
Who is he?
Yes, that's him.
Until now, the thought never even crossed my mind. That the mass murderer, whose crimes shook Britain as never before.
Who is this man?
Was Japanese.
Wait a minute.
What? What?
That face. I feel as though I've seen it somewhere. It's strangely familiar.
Is it Kazuma's father?
Father.
It is.
What? Father? Kazuma! My best friend, Kazuma Asogi. After a whole year, finally his memories returned.
The voices are so weird. I've got to check who dubbed that. He's not dead. How come?
As he stood there before me.
Ryunosuke.
Ryunosuke.
Hello again. My friend.
Kazuma-sama!
Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. It's been a very long road. Thank you.
What?
Thank you for guiding my friend here when I could not.
It was an honor.
I knew you wouldn't die that easily. Kazuma.
But that woman is still has still been found guilty of his murder.
I owe you thanks, too, for taking good care of that in my absence.
Oh,
Ah, the sword.
Karuma. The great blade of the Asogi clan. Passed down through the generations. When we left Japan, this sword was at my friend's side. The Japanese man's katana is his soul. He couldn't be parted from it. But then, when the incident happened, it was Susato-san's wish that I inherit the sword. And I've kept it with me ever since, along with my memories of the friendship we shared. With this by my side, I always felt that you were watching over me somehow.
I've made it. At last. Father.
I don't know. I don't really see the resemblance, but okay.
Are you saying... Surely not. You mean, you knew all this time? I'm looking at it. I still can't believe it. This mass murderer is Kazuma's father.
Gonna chop his head off.
Kazuma-sama.
Ryunosuke, we have much to talk about, but now is not the time. I'll be seeing you.
Wait, what? 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 Huh? Is he not staying? What? Are they gone?
That's all Kazuma said. Before he turned and left us there, in the courtroom.
Are we ever gonna know what happened?
So, he's the living afterimage of the man who took my brother's life, is he?
Oh yes, Kazuma Asagi, my best friend.
3 months ago, when Lord Strongheart introduced us, I had an inkling there was something there, some connection.
Oh, but why did Lord Strongheart do that? Why did he make Kazuma Lord Van Ziek's apprentice? And when he was suffering amnesia too?
The man was apprehended, even executed. But his legacy just won't die. That's the sad truth. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I thank you for meeting with me as I asked.
Oh, 10 years ago, my grandmother took me to the railway station. We were there to meet my father from the train. From me, it was the first time I'd ever seen him. Oh, poor Susato-san. All this is tied up with painful memories for her too. She's never talked about this with me before though. Oh, it took some time to adjust to having father around, but just when I was starting to get used to it, he called me into his study one day. He told me that a great friend of his had passed away in London, and that a friend had left behind a son, a boy 7 years my senior. Father told me the boy had made a promise to his late father, so he was studying to become a defense lawyer. I wanted to help, so I studied to become a qualified judicial assistant. As I'm sure you've worked out, that young man's name was Kazuma Asagi. So you see, that's how he and I met.
For a brief moment, my great friend had returned, only to disappear again all too soon. But in that fleeting encounter, something stirred, something that had been dormant for a long time. As if great wheels had been set in motion, I could almost hear them creaking into life. In some ways, it was the end of a chapter, but in many, it was the start of a new one.
Okay, let's save all that. Wow. Twisted Karma, episode 4. We got 2 more episodes. Wow. Wait, because we're gonna have to rush through this because oh no, well, we're gonna finish all that before Dying Light 2 is released. But I'm gonna have to play the game. Okay. Twisted Karma and his last blow. It was indeed a most bizarre incident, both born in a curious advertisement and commonplace killing at the edge of town. What? The resolve of Ryusuke, naruhodo. Oh dear. Hey. Oh. Alright. Well. Wow. That was something. That was something, really. Wait. I thought... So it wasn't... Lord Van Zeek's friend. I thought he had a Japanese friend. Maybe I'm not I'm not remembering correctly. I don't know. Wow. And that was the third case. So can you imagine what's gonna happen in the 2 other ones? Wow. Wow. I'm very impressed with everything that happened in this game. Yeah. Very glad I chose to play this one. All right. As you saw, we're gonna have a lot of 2 cases to finish before we've got like 2 weeks to finish the whole game. I think it's okay. We can do that. A little less than 2 weeks. I think it's possible. 10 hours, 20 hours, 20 hours, 2 hours a day, I guess. I guess it's possible. Alright, we'll see. Alright, well, thanks for being here with me. As usual, please take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon. Probably tomorrow. Have a good day, have a good night. Bye.